All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Katina. I'm Covet Mane's Education and Community Manager. And today I have on Maria Casso. We're so excited to have you.
I'm so excited as well.
It's going to be such a good session. We haven't talked textures in so long, so I'm really excited to dive into all of the things and you share your expertise with us. And if there are any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer throughout the session. So I'd love to start off by talking about the art of the appointment, going from consultation to challenges to all the things that come in between. So Maria, can you walk us through a typical consultation for a textured guest that wants extensions?
So first, I usually will have a little mood board set up for them with just a few things just based off of what they provide before they come in for their consultation. So I'll have them come in just like as they usually wear their hair, if it's styled out curly, if it's blown out straight, or if they just need just a little bit of something extra just to, or if they just want to, totally change out their look. So they'll come in, I'll have a little mood board set for them. And we just kind of go based off of like what their dream hair looks like, how they usually wear their hair, and it just basically like a list of questions for them.
I love that. And do you do phone consultations or is it all in person?
I usually do both. I've done a few phone consultations. When that happens, I usually have them set up their phone in front of just a natural lighting so I can see like the actual, ranges of their color ranges of their hair. And then if they could, just send pictures of their hair in the natural lighting, how they usually style out their hair, that helps a lot as well. But I prefer to have them in person just so I can feel their hair and just have it more of an intimate experience, just so I can actually know like what we're working with.
And do you schedule out, say, like 30 minutes for them just to come in and you get a sense of like what they're looking to do, color, styling, what kind of texture they're wanting to add?
Yes. I usually have them say if they want to come in and they have a specific date and deadline when they want to get their hair done at. I'd like to have them come in at least a week or two before then, just so that the time to, have a really good consultation and even just have the whole hair ordered out for them. So there's no scrambling around trying to find hair that fits them, so that it's already there.
And what would you say are 3 key questions a stylist should ask to ensure they're on the same page as their client?
I would say for sure asking them how much time do they spend on their hair, like their daily routine. How much work are they willing to add into their daily routine if they want to basically switch up their whole entire look, what their dream hair looks and feels like, and if they want something low maintenance.
For someone that's never worn extensions and they come in and say, I want 3 rows, how do you navigate that conversation?
Oh, that's a hard one because they have this, there's like a mindset or there's this particular look and feel that they have for themselves. But for someone who hasn't worn extensions and they want 3 rows, I'd say it's for sure doable. Just basically walk them down the line of like what the service looks like, what the appointment looks like, what the maintenance looks like, what it can feel like. And sometimes, you might need to take an Advil because the tension, and sometimes it's uncomfortable for certain hair types or, and what else? I'm trying to think of another one. I mean, it's for sure doable, but I would tell them just like, let's maybe work with 2 rows just to see how that goes. Or you can for sure do 3 rows and just kind of adjust on how many wefts per row that you're adding in. So it's not an overload of extensions for them because it can be overwhelming.
Definitely have to manage their expectations as soon as they're
Mhm.
in the salon, just to like set them up for success. Like you mentioned, when it comes to maintenance, how do you style? How often do you style? And laying all of those things out prior to.
Mhm. So for sure with maintenance, you do want to make sure you're sending your guests home with the right products. So whether it's shampoo, conditioner, and oil that they need to, oil the ends of their hair.
Mhm.
And maintenance time, usually your install and your maintenance, those are 2 different appointments, obviously, but with time, it's an easier appointment for maintenance when you're coming in for your, move up every 6 to 7 weeks.
Mhm.
And then basically like how they're gonna live out styling out their hair because although we can make their hair feel and look beautiful when they leave the salon, it's like really a partnership and they need to be able to establish their own maintenance and routine so they can continue to have beautiful hair.
I love that you said it's a partnership.
It's for sure a partnership because I can send you home with this gorgeous hair, but then if you come back and your hair is not gorgeous, I'm gonna be so sad because I can teach you how to do exactly what I'm doing.
Mhm. So walk us through a typical appointment for your client. From the moment they sit in your chair until they leave, what are 3 things that set you apart from other stylists?
So we start our appointments with the lavender massage. Most people say yes, and if they're a new client and they're like, "What is that?" I just say yes. So we just start with aromatherapy and just to relax them because you never know what their life is like outside of their original appointment with us. So just so that the outside noise is left at the door and so that's one thing that I do. I love to offer that. Another thing I would say that sets me apart is I love an intimate experience. We're not a really big salon. We're a micro salon, so we have 3 chairs in here. So it's really just an environment to where like you can just come in and just be yourself, unload anything that you need to unload. But I would say that for sure.
And let's talk about your installation. Like, what are the key differences in your install when installing textured hair? And are there differences from your silky straight girls to then those who want beach wavy or want a full, like, curly look that you have?
So I would say install is really important for those specific textures because you can have someone that is bone straight, silky straight hair. So that person for sure is going to be tailored for that specific texture. Or some people that have like just a little bit of fluff in their hair. And that's when I recommend to just adjust the two. You can add 2 textures together. So you can do like a silky straight mixed with a beach wave. And that would just create like the perfect fluff to mimic the texture of their hair.
Mhm.
And if they're wanting something just super big and voluminous, of course, I would recommend that they do have just a thicker type texture and something that can mimic a texture that is perfect for their hair.
And then you mentioned that you like to mix textures. For those girls that just want to match their texture but wear their hair straight, and then you
Mhm.
have those that want it full and big and to leave the salon with their hair with the waves in it. How do you talk to those 2 different clients?
It's really just maintenance for the two for those 2 clients because one is going to make sure that their hair is as polished as possible, having the 2 textures match or the 2 textures, just kind of mimic their own with the wavy and the silky straight. And then one is just going to make sure they maintain the wave, the actual curl of the hairs of the pattern. So making
Mhm.
sure that they're tailored to a specific line of products, whether it's
Mhm.
like a curling gel or a mousse Some will even use a diffuser, and then even if they just want to just wake up and go, you can even just tie your hair back with a braid or a twist, and then that will kind of mimic like what your hair is compared with the installation.
And you mentioned products. What do you guys use in the salon?
We are a Davines based salon. So I have a few products here, and I have a mannequin here that I plan to demo out. So this specific guest, she has half is install of just complete beach wave here, and I installed a braid for a heatless curl. This is styling gel, water, and it's and a diffuser. And this is a medium molding gel by Davines. So this is it's not super, it has a really pliable hold. So it's a workable product. And then I diffused her hair, and that's kind of how that turned out to be. And then this side of the mannequin, she has a match of the silky straight and the beach wave. So here I just, added a few waves, and then this is kind of the hair as is blown out.
Mhm. And what do you recommend for take home? So they've done the appointment, you've given them all the tips and tricks. Do you send them home with a goodie box or a maintenance card? What does that follow-up look like?
So we do have a QR code link to a whole bunch of tips and tricks, do's and don'ts for the extensions, basically on their install. And then we also send them home with a box of shampoo, conditioner, oil, and a hair extension brush.
And what are the most important post-appointment needs for a client, especially if they're new to extensions?
So could you repeat that?
Yeah, what's the most important post-appointment needs for a new extension client?
I would say product wise, making sure anything they're using at home, toss it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't toss it, but you want to make sure they're using high quality products for the extensions, because if not, the wear of your extensions will not last you long at all. So I would say for sure, making sure that their needs are met by just kind of tailoring what they don't know, just so that they know exactly like what they can go home and do, so that they're confident in taking care of their new look.
And how should they be sleeping with their hair at night?
It all depends. Myself, I wear a bonnet sometimes because I don't like to have any hair touching me, touching my neck. Making sure for sure that they're not going to bed with their hair wet. Some people, they style out their hair or wash their hair at night, and then they'll go to sleep. And if they do decide to do that, making sure that they're drying the base of the extensions here, just so there's no matting or tangling while they're sleeping. I like to do a braid. So like this, I did a section here to where you can do a heatless braid, heatless style while you are sleeping, so that you just wake up and you just take it out and go. I'm gonna put a little oil in my hands just so you can see. This is a oil by Davines. But yeah, I say something low maintenance. You don't want to have any extra tension on the extensions on your scalp as well. But yeah, so if you decide to go to bed and if you decide to go to bed and shampoo your hair, let it dry quite a bit, dampen it if you need to, and then you can do a braid and tie the end off, and you get a little wave like this.
So pretty.
And that's what I did today, but the Texas heat grew my hair, so I had to style it a different way today.
Can you actually walk us through what you did with your hair today? I feel like it's a great way to pivot when you need to because you had styled it beforehand and then you had to
Mhm.
make it, right?
So last night I gave myself 4 braids. I put a little mousse in my hair. I detangled it, secured the bottoms. And this morning I woke up and it was completely dry because that's one thing you do want to make sure that your hair is completely dry. And I took it out and it was really cute in the moment until I got dressed, until I did my hair. And then as I walked out the door, drove here, my hair grew and grew and grew. I think it's gonna rain later today, so there's a lot of humidity in the air. And I
Mhm.
got here and I had enough time to put a few curls in my hair. So I took a wand of 1 inch and just kind of sectioned out and just add just a few curls in there. Actually, not a few, it was a lot. I did the whole head and then I tied that down. But yeah, that's how I picked it today. Because there's no way I could show up the way I looked.
No, I think it's beautiful. And I think it's also a good reminder for people that do have textured hair that it's okay to use hot tools at times too. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be
Yeah,
a full on top to bottom, but just as a finishing for your style.
yeah, for sure. Especially in moderation and using like the perfect heat protectant. And this will actually last you. I feel like this is gonna last me the rest of the week. Maybe on Friday I'll just put a few curls in there, or maybe I'll tie it up into a high ponytail or a bun. Just so I'm not adding just like excess amount of heat that I don't need.
And that's also a good question to think about when it comes to having to restyle. How often, say, if there's someone that's doing like a full on big curl style, how often do you recommend rewashing their hair one and then redoing their style?
I for sure recommend washing your hair once or twice a week, depending on the hair texture and hair type. There's some guests that I do recommend if they feel like their own extensions are just like giving them more life than their actual hair. You can for sure section off the extensions here, tie that back, and you can really refresh the top section here and just kind of have that blown out look instead of um, the maintenance of doing the whole entire head because that can be a little overwhelming as well. So if you could, shampoo once the full head, and then if you need, shampoo and refresh the top of your own actual hair on the top. Yeah.
I have seen that done. It's like it's a quick top wash to preserve the red.
Yeah.
Mm. And like with extensions, I feel like there's a misconception that they're very high maintenance, but it's all about what you make it. So eliminating a lot of the rewashing and restyling will only make them last longer. And then your hair will be healthier as well.
Yes, because a big thing is you're not adding a lot of um heat to your hair, or you're not touching your hair as often compared to if your hair was just without extensions. I noticed that most clients, their hair thrives with extensions because their own hands, they're not in their head. If anything, the curls mimic and just kind of align with their own hair so that that's how their curls last or give them more life.
And how often do you check in with your clients, whether they're new or returning guests have done this before? Why is it important to stay in touch throughout the process?
So, say guests they come in for a new install. We have a check-in appointment or a checkup appointment to where a week or two out from their initial install, they'll come in and they'll get a shampoo and a blowout. And it's really just to have them come in and just kind of go over like how it's been with the extensions in their hair, if there need to be any adjustments, if they're comfortable in, with their hair, anything that we need to change for the next appointment, if we need to take out any hair, so that it's not overwhelming, or if they're just having a good time with their hair. But yeah.
I feel like it's a nice value add for the client too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a partnership. So the more we can stay in touch
Mm-hmm.
and I'm aligned with what you're looking for, I think that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
what would you say are like one or two common challenges when working with textured hair?
Mm. That goes along with the partnership. That could be a challenge because in the beginning, we do have these high expectations, and even just expectations that, I'm going to give you all of my knowledge as a stylist, and then I want you to go home and, conquer this beautiful hair of yours. And sometimes it doesn't happen that way all the time. So that's why I like to have just like kind of open communication with them when they come in for their initial install and after their check-in appointment. I like to have them scheduled in to come back at least 6 weeks just to see how their grow out is doing. And then we can kind of, just realign or readjust their appointments, moving forward. But I would say the partnership for sure can be a little challenging. And then sometimes you don't get the perfect match with the extensions in their hair. Sometimes you might have to, instead of sandwiching like a silky straight and a beach wave, or a textured wave with a beach wave, sometimes you might have to readjust the placement of the extensions in their hair so that they can have the perfect finish that matches their own hair. So you might have to just take the extensions out and then just sandwich the hair another way.
And that speaks to your artistry as well, just being able to know how to make that shift when working with either
Mhm.
silky straight. It could be a color thing, like you said, they may need more texture on the top, closer to their crown, and more on the
Mhm.
bottom, a bit smoother. And we have a question coming in. It says, I love the idea of a check-in appointment. Is that standard for all clients and part of their expected maintenance?
Yes. So when they come in for their first install or their initial install, we do like to have them come in a week or two from that appointment for their checkup appointment. And then for every new install, that's what we do.
So I'd love to dive a little bit more into your mannequin. You showed us like how you did the braid out, but walk us
Mhm.
through diffusing and doing a smooth blowout. Like, what does that look like?
So my gorgeous girl here, after I did her row here, so this side specifically is wavy, is the beach wave texture only. So I, misted her hair down with some water, and then applied the curling gel, and just kind of worked my fingers in it, and had the diffuser on medium heat, and just kind of had it sit in the diffuser like this. I like to do as high as possible because that's going to create that wave there. Because if you kind of start from, low here, you might not have the full effect of just enhancing the curl all the way. And then using a little bit of oil to help, remove a cast if there is a cast.
Have you ever had a client where you've like, if they're a full beach wave installation, like turn their head upside down and then like really dive in and scrunch it for them?
I do a little bit, not too much because sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable. And then scrunching for sure upside down helps a lot. But if you could turn your head like more so to the side here or to the side here, that helps because having, the heat blow up the extensions here, that can cause a little bit of, a little bit of tangling at the base for the weft. Um, so not too high up, not too crazy when they're going upside down with the diffuser.
And how do you assist them with like avoiding tangles at that root of the extension?
For sure, making sure that they are detangling here, because sometimes you can feel that there could be a little tangle or a little matting here. And also making sure you're going to bed with your hair tied back and making sure your hair is not wet or damp at the base here. So if you are going to decide that you're going to um, wash your hair at night and then go to bed, you really want to be adamant on making sure that the base of the extensions are dry, because when you're sleeping, the back of your head is rubbing against the bed or the pillow, and that can cause matting and tangling at the base here.
And
And making sure
also,
your round brush does not touch the top of this here. If you want and you do your round brush blowout, starting at least right here with the brush, that helps.
and with our wefts, they are hand tied at the top. So like Maria said, definitely recommend keeping it dry right at the root of it so that the hand tie doesn't swell and then it'll expand and then the hair will shed. So that's a great way to like preserve your hair. It will last longer, just taking care of that top root.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if you notice the lights went out. It's because I'm not moving around. So it's motion censored and they don't film me moving around. But is the lighting okay still?
Yeah, lighting's good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're fine. So tell us about the other side of the head. What do you have installed there?
Here is half beach wave, half silky straight. This is ideal for a guest that has a little bit of wave to their hair, a little bit of texture, or just a little bit of fluff. That's what I like to say. The hair is not completely bone straight and they have like just a little fluff. I do love adding in at least one or two of the wavy wefts tied in with the straight. So here I did a wand curl with a 1-inch wand, and then this is just blown out straight.
And you can also tell that it's not like bone straight. It's like it still has a little bit of the fluff in there, especially if you're living in like a high humidity area like Texas. It can be very hot there. So you're wanting to have a little bit of texture with the straight, so it just marries the hair really nice. And then if it starts to grow and expand throughout the day, you don't have like stick straight extensions and then your natural hair is fluffy.
Yes.
Do you have any other tips and tricks that you can share for someone, an extension artist that's wanting to play around in textures a little bit more? Like, where should they get started?
I say just if you're working on a mannequin, or if you have someone, because most clients, they don't have like silky straight hair. So if you do have a guest that's wanting to get extensions, just try marrying the two, the wavy and the straight together, because that will really you just never know what you can create just using that. And then that door will open up to another door for just another guest that maybe has, a little bit more wave, and just that's kind of how you can just dibble and dabble and play into that.
Do we have any questions from those who are watching? And everyone's saying they love your hair, Maria.
Thanks. Today was a good hair day. It turned out really good.
And that's another thing to note. Like every day won't be a great hair day, but you made it work. Like it looks gorgeous.
That is so true. Every day won't be a good hair day, but if you just pivot and try something else, you'll get it. You will get it.
How did you build your clientele? That's a good question.
I use a lot of social media, more so Instagram, and just showcasing my work on there. I do like posting just like pretty hair. I'm starting to post a little bit more of me on there, just so it's not like a whole page of just hair. But I say for sure, posting on social media. You can even get into like the Facebook groups, like the mom groups, and even just, start off by saying like, hi, I'm new in the area, or looking for, some models, or looking for anyone that just wants to come in for a blowout. And then that's kind of how you start like the relationship from there. And then a lot of word to mouth also helps too. But if you are going to post on Instagram, you can also pay to do like an ad. on a reel or something, or just even if you're gonna do like a model call and you want someone, that helps a lot too.
Thank you. I feel like that's super
Mhm.
helpful. All right. Do you have anything else you'd love to share with us before we go?
I don't think so. I think I covered a lot.
Yeah, you did. No, this is super
We did a
helpful.
lot. Yeah.
And I feel like with anything new, if you haven't worked with textures before or you haven't worked with Silky Straight before, it can be intimidating.
Mhm.
So enjoy the trial and error, see what works
Mhm.
with clients. I love that you mentioned having a model come in and really try it that way as well, just so you can build your skill along with it.
Mhm. Yep, for sure. Building the skill along with that. And the trial and error it's not a huge thing, but it's something that we're all gonna have to go through. I remember I purchased textured, no, not textured wavy, but the beach wave, and I installed that in my hair. And I noticed like, my hair doesn't have this silky smooth finish compared to the texture wavy. So in my head, I'm like, oh, next time I buy, covered hair, I will for sure, just lean more towards
Mhm.
a matte finish for my own hair because my hair doesn't, blow out super silky straight or just
Mhm.
like have that shine in it. There's like a little bit of matte finish to it. So that's my trial and error.
I love it. And can you tell our listeners how they can find you on social, just in case they want to connect some more or see all the work that you've done as you've built out your business?
Yes. So I am on Instagram at She's Maria Maria. You can find a lot of my work there. Um, I'm a little bit on TikTok at She's Maria Maria, and there's a new app that I just got into called Lemonade, and my name for that is She's Maria Maria too. So I've been posting little or planting little seeds in little areas to see, what does great. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And I'm in Texas. I'm in Frisco, Texas.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Maria. Oh, I think we have one more question coming
Oh,
in.
what's the app? It's Lemon8. So Lemon and then the number 8, Lemonade. The icon is, or yeah, the app icon is yellow and black. It's kind of like Instagram and TikTok mix, but instead of having one post on top of the other, it's kind of like having grid work of, just different posts that you see. But that's been growing a lot too.
That's a new one for me. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, Lemonade. I do a lot of editing for posts on there. It's kind of like you can use it like as if like similar to how Canva works. But I kind of like how they have like the different templates for specific posts that you can do, whether it's like a video that you're gonna do or if you're gonna do just like an edited picture and you just need to add like words to it or just like a funky font. I like using that.
And for social, do you do more reels to showcase your work, or is it more like still photos and like before and afters?
I kind of do a little bit of both. I do have a lot of reels that I have been posting that does showcase my work and just like, behind the scenes of it all. And then I do love a good traditional before and after post.
Maria, thank you so much for jumping on and talking all things texture with us. I think it was super helpful for stylists that are wanting to get into textures and for clients as well that are, I don't know what to do with my texture hair. I want more
Mhm.
volume. I want all the things. And just being able to connect with an artist that's seen and done it all, I think is a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun with this. I was a little nervous, but it was so, so nice. It feels really good. It had a really good flow to this. Thank you.
Of course. And we've got a lot of great feedback from our listeners. And we want to thank you for taking time out of your Monday to jump on. We'll see you next week and we look forward to chatting.
Thank you. You too. Have a good day, everyone.
Good one.
Thank
And we'll be
you.
sending out the replay.